Hey everyone, it's Lisa here coming to you today from Sebastopol, California. It's a beautiful day in the wine country here. Super warm, actually a little bit windy, a little bit strange on that part. But yeah, coming to you live for our little weekly chat, our weekly conversation. And over the past few weeks, Kim and I have been really talking to you guys about this shadow side of marketing in the coaching industry. And today I just sort of wanted to do a little pivot and talk for a minute or two about, some of the things, or specifically one thing about what it really takes to build a business, a sustainable business online. And, a lot of people come into the coaching, consulting, training experts industry thinking that building a business online, like all you really need is a computer and an internet connection, because that's what some people out there like to tell you. But the truth is that, building a business online takes just as much work, really, as building a brick and mortar business takes. So, that's first and foremost. You have to know that you're going to have to roll up your sleeves and put in some time, some energy, and you will have to put money in as well. So there's no easy way out on this whole thing. And so I have a special guest who's here with me today. And it's my business partner.
Dun, 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 dun.
Coming on in. So Kim is here
Yay.
from Austin, Texas.
From Austin, Texas, visiting California. I was just on a client call. I'm like running over here, running to the other side of the house.
So,
good to be with you guys.
So I was just telling them that we're going to talk for a minute about what it really takes to build a sustainable business online.
Great.
And that, it takes just as much blood, sweat, and tears to build a sustainable business online as it does offline.
Yes, it's true.
And we actually had lunch with a good friend of Kim's and an old-time colleague of Kim's yesterday, and we were talking about this very thing. And she's actually, very, I don't want to say entrenched in, but she is actually. She is entrenched in the backside of what's going on in the coaching industry. And it was really great to sit down and have a lunch with her and hear her perspective on what's going on and what's happening. What are the big guys doing out there these days? What's working for them? What's not working for them in terms of building a sustainable business online. So it was one of the things I pulled away from her was the importance of, she works with a big sales company, and that importance of having a solid team behind you, because the truth is, as a coach, as an expert, a trainer, a consultant, you need to have those selling skills, but when it comes to launch time or doing something like that, you might need to have some help around that. People who actually, that's their gift, their unique gift in the world, is the sales piece.
Yeah, that was a really great point you made in that conversation, that, for many of us who are coaches and teachers and mentors, our gift is that. Our gift is the content, whatever it is that we're teaching about delivering, but it's oftentimes sales is not our gift. So like you said, you need to know how to sell. You need to know how to sell. And when you're in the middle of a launch, or if you're doing a live event, it's good to have help with that, as it is with other things. We have help with our
Facebook
finances.
ads.
We have help with Facebook ads.
I hate Facebook ads. I mean, I love them, but trying to figure them out is not my gift.
Yes, yeah, and so that's one thing that definitely, there's some key things if you're running your business, even online, that you really need to get expert help with, right? So one of the things I was just saying is finances, right? Like some financial guidance, some advice from people who have we work with someone who has been CEO level, C-level person at a very large multi-billion dollar company. And so we want that perspective. We're not there yet, but we want the perspective of, if we're going to grow, if we're going to like the guru say, like 10x our business, what's that going to take? What do we need to get set up now? The other thing is Facebook ads, right? It's kind of on this totally different level, but you want someone who knows, because the Facebook advertising platform is changing constantly. What gets something shown to your audience as a Facebook ad changes constantly. So you want to work with somebody on Facebook ads that's their main thing. They're doing that every day. They're in contact with Facebook and a community of people that is up to date on every single day what's going on with Facebook ads, so that you can maximize your expenses there. That leads me to the other thing about, what does it really take? It takes money. It takes money to make money.
And nobody wants to tell you that it takes money.
No, because they want you to just spend your money on their program.
Right.
And then once you're in their program, they'll often tell you, well, you need to hire help. You need to hire a virtual assistant. You need to hire someone to do Facebook ads for you. You need to hire a bookkeeper, an accountant. You need to, and then people are like, whoa, I just spent $30,000 on this mastermind program and I don't have money left to hire those people. Right. So that sometimes, it's unfortunate, that does happen sometimes.
Mary's saying, hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
Thanks for joining us. It seems like some people advertising advising. I need glasses.
I know, where's our readers?
Advising what coaches need, encouraging spending, and even going into debt. Yes.
Any thoughts about that? Well, I have we might have different opinions about that, but the going into debt part, and I really hear you, Mary, and this is so personal, and it's case by case. It really is case by case. I mean, there's some people that their mindset around money is that any debt for them would just be crippling, right? There's other people, there's people I know who are multi-millionaires. They're millions of dollars in debt, right? But they have this capacity to generate money, or they know, my debt is in this home. My debt, I could sell this, or I could sell this company, or I could whatever. So it's really just where are you at with that, first of all? And then I think that there is smart debt with your business, right? So going into debt, so it's you're going to put something on a credit card, but it's an investment in whatever you're creating, So it's we might put our Facebook ad spend on a credit card, but we know that Facebook ad campaign is driving traffic to a program launch that's going to generate 50 times or whatever our goals are, that we'll be able to pay off that credit card in a month. So you need to be strategic about it. And I think not willy-nilly going into debt, or not thinking about that, right? But having a really smart plan about the debt, and the plan to, I'm going to spend this now, and I'm going to pay this off in this amount of time, and here's how I'm going to do that. Here's my plan to do that. And then you want to work the plan, So I don't think you should never go into debt, but I think it needs to be really smart. You need to be a smart business owner if you are going to go into debt. And I think ideally, if someone is going to, for example, quit their corporate job and start something completely new, that it's really smart to have about a year's worth of living expenses in savings.
On top of what you're going to need for your business, because your living expenses are separate from your business expenses. I think one of the sorry, I just cut you off.
No, that was great. Yeah.
I think what you're talking to is there's the business mindset, which is you're running a business you have to go into debt. like there's debt no matter what, but that's separate from your personal. So you have to have your whole personal side finances figured out separate from your business. They're two separate entities. And I think what happens so often in the coaching experts industry is people don't have those two things separated out, their personal and their business, and they just meld as one. And I think that that can be dangerous, because then you're not, you can easily get to the point where we've heard, some people living out of their cars because they've spent so much money on things, programs and all of these things. So I think that there's a couple things, like, what are you going into debt for? Like, every business needs certain things. You need the marketing pieces, you need the financial pieces, you need these things. You don't just need tons of programs. Yes, you need to create your assets and everything, but building a business requires, I got to hire a CPA. I got to hire, my assistants to do this and that. So those are just some other pieces to consider, Mary.
Yeah. And if you're not tech savvy, that's another thing that really is worth it to hire help with. If there are lots of ways to create your own websites these days. However, the standard is so much higher than it was, 5 or 10 years ago. So it's worth it, I think, to put a little money into somebody that can do graphics for you, that at least makes it look clean, and you need to have you need to have representation for your business online. You need to have a website, you need to have a Facebook page. Like these days, even 5 years ago, I think people could get away with it. Like, oh, I just have a Facebook page, I don't have a website, and people just come there. But you really can't. Like, it's just our world and the technology is moving so quickly. So
you're making a good point, Mary, of I think that should be part of the conversation. I don't love the technique of shaming the person
your half face
as they don't, as if they don't value themselves. Right. And I hear a lot of coaches saying that if you're conservative like me, you don't love yourself or value yourself. And I don't agree with that either, Mary. I absolutely agree with you. The shaming piece is, again, it's a tactic that some people use. It's a selling tactic. That's one of the things our friend that we had lunch with was talking about, this manipulative selling tactic that actually works for some personality types, and they sort of stronghold you in by shaming and using these manipulation tactics. And agree. It has nothing to do necessarily with whether I love myself or not, how I'm choosing to spend my money. I mean, only you know that. And I think that the key is, again, having your business as an entity and your personal separate from your business. Because if they start to go like this, that gets very confusing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And, Mary, thank you so much for bringing this up, because like I was saying before, it is such a personal thing, and you really have to do what's right for you. And, it can be this tricky catch-22 thing where it's like, if you want to start something new and it's going to take an investment, I think some people, and I'm not saying you're like this, but some people can get paralyzed. It's like, I can't spend any money because I can't go into any debt because I can't, and then they end up not doing their life gift. They end up not living their, soul purpose. And so I think it's good to have some advice from people that you trust around that, like what would be smart financial moves for you, and you have to trust yourself too, right? Like what would be a smart investment for your business to grow your business that feels, congruent with who you are and your level of comfort with risk financially. Because I think if you don't have some outside perspective sometimes, then you can get stopped and stuck. And then it's, then the world's not benefiting from your great gifts. And so it's a bit of, it's a process. It's definitely a process you have to go through.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good conversation. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it comes back to the the business and the personal. And if you're choosing to start a business, you're going to have to spend money on
Yeah.
it. But you can be conservative in the way you spend
Yeah,
money.
you can.
You
And it's,
can,
and
yeah.
some people, I know people will tell you that you have to spend a lot of money in order to grow quickly. And that is, it, it's one way of doing it, but it needs to feel right to you. And, and if you I mean, I know people who they don't bootstrap, they don't spend their own money. They get funded. They look for ways to get funded. Our friend Jenny Kassan helps people figure out how to get investment funding, right? And that type of funding could be a loan from a family member, or it could be someone who's getting a percentage of your company. But doesn't, there's so many different ways that can look too. So it doesn't have to be your own
Right.
money.
And that's a good point, because most businesses don't start with their own money.
Right.
Again, we go back
Like
to
most businesses in the world. We're
Right,
not talking
right,
about the
right.
coaching industry.
Yeah.
The coaching industry, we're pretty much, most of us are bootstrapping it. We're like, that's what it means when you're doing it yourself with your own funds.
But then we go back to the very beginning of this, which is building a sustainable business online is exactly the same as building a brick and mortar
That's right.
business. And most brick and mortar businesses go to,
Yeah,
it's
you
an
get a
interesting,
small business loan.
yeah. And it is an interesting thing, a conversation that Kim and I have had, because it's like, okay, if we were opening a restaurant, we would probably just go to a bank and ask for a $20,000 loan or something. But in the coaching industry, there's not, that type of opportunity, that type of resourcing and funding isn't there necessarily in the same way. So we're venturing into this we're pioneering an entirely new industry online right now, and it's interesting to see. We're just at the birth of it and how all of this is happening, let alone digital businesses that are out there primarily in the digital, using the internet to get out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, Mary's saying, yes, I would value a coach selling something and justifying the expense investment versus making it seem like the person/coach isn't valuing themselves. I would like to banish that tactic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Good one.
investing in building something. I mean, in our programs, we teach people how to create a sustainable online sales and marketing funnel, right? So it's all tied, and that is part of our offering, right? It's called a hard offer versus a soft offer. Like, we're teaching you how to set stuff up so that you can generate money, right? In a soft offer, there's other coaches that are life coaches or spiritual coaches, and you're not teaching people how to make money, but you're teaching people how to connect, transform their life, right? Like, connect to themselves and find their truth, live their truth, right? Like, and so that's really priceless. But in the realm that we're talking about, Mary, yeah, we get it, and we also teach how to do online engagement marketing and content marketing. And so it's like, how do you set these systems and processes up, which is not such a sexy sell, right? Like, who wants to buy systems and processes? But that's what we're seeing. Like, in order to make this sustainable, make your business sustainable, you need this solid, super solid foundation. And it's a solid financial foundation to help generate consistent clients and cash and people into your offerings. So, it should always be tied back to that, not, oh, you should just buy our thing or you're not honoring yourself.
Right.
It's like, that's pretty silly. So thank
Yeah.
you so much, Mary, for bringing this conversation in. It's just,
Yeah.
I think it's really valuable.
Good. I can't wait till we can, Facebook Live is going to allow you to bring people in, so you can have more than be fun, Mary, to have you in with us in the car, like actually live.
Yeah.
I like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll sort of wrap it up for today. That was a good little sound bite. So we have also our webinar.
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 So
What is it called?
Lisa and I are
Webinar coming
gonna-
up.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a webinar on October 5th, and it's called Stop Trying to Build a List, Start Building a Sustainable Business. And we have some ranting to do about some tactics that we're seeing around, people are just teaching these one-off self-contained tactics like, oh, you just need this, or you just need a big list, or you just need to do webinars, or you just need to do telesummits, or you just, like, there's all this just.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing is, well, those things are good and important, but they're not the whole picture. And you need a cohesive model, like I was talking about, that sustainable, solid business foundation. And so we're going to be talking about what we're seeing, what it really takes these days to create that sustainable financial, so it's not going to be like a paycheck where you work at a job, but we want it to be as close to that, so you're feeling comfortable. And like Mary, you're feeling solid and stable in your business. So that is, you have the URL?
Yeah, it's bit.ly/funnel lab.
Funnel Lab.
FUNNELLAB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll post that in this afterwards. But we'd love for you to come and join us on the webinar. We're also, with that, inviting you into a private Facebook group with us for a couple of weeks so we can chat with you and get to know you better and get to know your business.
Mary signed up. Yay!
Yay.
We'll see you there,
Awesome.
Mary.
Yeah, that's so great. I'm glad, Mary. And so we'll post that link on this video, and we hope to see you all there. And please reach out to us, connect with us. Let us know what you think about this conversation. What's working for you? What's not working? What are you frustrated by? And let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
All
Thanks,
right.
you guys.
Thanks.
We'll see you
Bye.
later. Bye.